My fear for Joseph, honestly, that he would go down the wrong path.
Welcome to Roads to Home, a podcast about foster parenting, guardianship, adoption, and reunification. We tell the stories of children who found their forever families and the people who helped along the way. I'm Noelle Russell with your DCS Communications Department, and this is the story of Siobhan Williams and the little boy she's been raising since he was 9. Her brother, Joseph.
My mom didn't have to force me. No one had to force me. I wanted to do this.
When Siobhan offered to take Joseph in, she was stepping in for their mother, whose debilitating health issues had been a concern for many years.
People always tell me, your mom has always been sick. I didn't think she would still be here.
Things worsened for their mother when Joseph was born. She suffered a stroke when pregnant, and as a result, Joseph was delivered 4 months early. When their mother went into the hospital, she didn't even know she was pregnant.
We're 13 years apart, so I'm thinking I'm going to be the only child for forever, and that didn't happen.
Eventually, Siobhan moved to Indiana for graduate school. She left Joseph and their mother behind in New York, but often visited on breaks. It was during one of those visits she started to think about what the future might look like for Joseph.
She got sick, and that's when I realized maybe I need to see if I can do the guardianship thing.
After the holidays, she was headed back to Indiana, and she wanted to take Joseph with her. She sat down with their mother and posed a question.
I said, how would you feel if Joseph, moved here with me? And I thought, because I know my mom very well, I thought she was going to say, what about me? And I'm like, oh, girl, it's not about you. I can't do it. It's just impossible. But she didn't say that. She was like, I don't see that being an issue. I just know that's going to be hard. And I was like, okay.
In Indiana, we call what Siobhan did for her little brother kinship care. A kinship caregiver steps up to care for a child in their life when their parents cannot. That can be a relative or a family friend, anyone willing and able to provide a safe and loving environment.
I just gave him an opportunity to see another way of life.
Siobhan took on that responsibility when she was in her 20s. As Siobhan prepared to welcome Joseph to his new home, DCS stepped in just to make sure she had everything she needed.
So luckily, my roommate already had moved out because we had a 2-bedroom apartment. So I was like, yeah, this will be his room. There is nothing in there, but I have a plan of action, So it was more of a supportive role because I never saw the lady again. She said everything looks good and gave me resources, and that was it.
In June 2014, she came before a judge to make it official.
By the end of July, he had moved here. And I was like, okay, this is real. This is real life.
It was an adjustment for both of them. She was in charge of his school, his doctor's appointments, things she never before had to consider.
And I didn't know what I was getting myself into. We just learned every day.
Siobhan leaned on their mother in those early years for help. All the while, she took steps to assure her mother that Siobhan becoming Joseph's legal guardian was the right step for their family.
She feels good about it and doesn't regret anything. And I always told her too, I was like, I would never take your place. I can't. I didn't birth Joseph, And overall, my mom and my brother and my family, my immediate family, are really appreciative.
Today, Joseph is a happy, healthy 17-year-old. He attends classes at the Excel Center in Indianapolis and has his sights set on going to trade school. He works as a lifeguard at the local YMCA and just got his learner's permit.
I wrote this on social media last week because I did a collage about him, just saying how proud I am of him. I don't know what 10-year-old will get on a plane by themselves to start a new life. Sorry. That's just bravery. I don't know if I could do that at 10 years old.
And Siobhan has been a big part of his success. She stepped in before DCS had to. Because Siobhan was willing to be a kinship caregiver and later a guardian, Joseph never went into foster care.
I think keeping kids with family is really, really important. It can be a positive or a negative. In this case, it was a positive. Like, our bond is like no other.
When she looks back on their experience, Siobhan doesn't talk about sacrifice. In her eyes, she just stepped up when Joseph needed her.
Both of our lives have changed drastically. Going through what we went through, I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all.
I'm Noelle Russell. Thanks for listening.